So as I said on a number of occasions in my previous videos, they are turning out to be true, unfortunately. The likes of Antony Blinken, Joe Biden, Benjamin Netanyahu, Keir Starmer, and other war criminals simply do not care about Israeli hostages currently held in the captivity of Hamas in Gaza. That's because if they did, they wouldn't be continuing with the indiscriminate bombing, mind you the word indiscriminate bombing of Gaza, and killing everyone. I mean everyone, whether you are Palestinians, Israeli or other hostages. As the world woke up to the news of Israeli forces recovering the bodies of 6 more hostages, including Hirsch Goldberg Polin. You know who Hirsch Goldberg Polin is. His parents were invited by Kamala Harris not too long ago to speak from the podium of the DNC convention, when the Democrats had banned Palestinian Americans from speaking about their plight.
So coming up, we have John and Rachel, proud, loving parents of 3. On October 7th, their son Hirsch, a U.S. citizen, was at a music festival when Hamas attacked. He was taken hostage, and he is still being held today, an American citizen. Rachel and John want what every parent wants: to hold their child close, to love on them, and keep them safe. I'm honored to introduce the 2 of them tonight.
At this moment, 109 treasured human beings are being held hostage by Hamas in Gaza. Among the hostages are 8 American citizens. One of those Americans is our only son. His name is Hirsch. He's 23 years old. And like Vice President Kamala Harris, Hirsch was born in Oakland, California. Hirsch is a happy-go-lucky, laid-back, good-humored, respectful, and curious person. He is a civilian. He loves soccer, is wild about music and music festivals, and he has been obsessed with geography and travel since he was a little boy. His bedroom overflows with atlases, globes, maps, and National Geographic magazines.
We were both born and raised here, and our families still live here. This is a political convention. But needing our only son and all of the cherished hostages home is not a political issue.
Now, according to reports, the Israeli terrorists masquerading as soldiers recovered the bodies of these 6 hostages from a tunnel in South Gaza, an area which has faced the brutal onslaught of the Israeli bombing sponsored by the US, the UK, the EU, Canada, and Australia to name a few countries. It's very important to keep reminding you and the world about these countries who have been sponsoring this genocide. I said it before and will repeat once again. You would be fooled to think that when you drop 2,000-pound bombs for 11 months in a row, they will only kill Palestinians while miraculously protecting the hostages held in the same area. When you cut off the supply of water, food, electricity, you think that it will only force Palestinians to starve to death, but the hostages will miraculously survive. What's astonishing is the reaction from Blinken and the UK PM Keir Starmer. Blinken, who after having failed to persuade Netanyahu to accept the ceasefire deal had gone into hibernation, has suddenly woken up this morning to react to the horror of the hostages' deaths. He took to Twitter to write, and I quote, "Hersh Goldbach-Pollin is an American hero who will be remembered for his kindness and selflessness. Our hearts break for John, Rachel, and the entire family, as well as other families who found out today their loved ones won't be coming home. May their memory be a blessing." The killing of these hostages only further confirms Hamas's depravity. It should release all the hostages immediately. We will continue to work with our partners in the region to secure an agreement without delay that frees the remaining hostages. End of quote. Can you make sense of what he's writing? Of course, he continues to be shameless and would still not accept that it's Israelis whose indiscriminate bombing was responsible for the death of these people. I'm sure many Israelis and Americans would be cursing Blinken for his depravity, for allowing this horror movie to continue. Our own Starmer, who could not bother to mention even once the Israeli genocide in Gaza during his first ever media interaction last week, has suddenly realized the need for a ceasefire. Why? Because the endless slaughtering of innocent Palestinians could not move him. But the discovery of the bodies of 6 Israeli hostages has left him visibly shaken, as can be gauged from his response. He wrote, and I quote, "I am completely shocked at the horrific and senseless killing of 6 hostages in Gaza by Hamas. My thoughts are with their loved ones at this awful time. Hamas must release all the hostages now, and a ceasefire deal must be agreed by all sides immediately to end the suffering." This clown still doesn't have the courage to tell Israel to stop the bombing. He doesn't have the courage. He's a clown, he's a coward. The guy who's built his career being a human rights lawyer, he simply doesn't have the courage to tell his masters, Israel, to stop the indiscriminate bombing. These hostages would be alive today, but the likes of Blinken, Starmer, Biden, Netanyahu, and all those Western leaders who refuse to use their power to stop this madness have the blood of these hostages on their hands. Why is this acceptable to the American nationals? Why is it acceptable to Israelis? I know that the largest union in Israel, which has over 800,000 members, has called for a one-day strike against Netanyahu for not accepting the ceasefire. But this is not enough. It's criminal to allow 11 months to pass and let bloodthirsty terrorist Netanyahu to massacre Palestinians and Israeli hostages alike. This can stop now if Israelis and Americans tell their corrupt politicians that enough is enough. We don't want the remaining hostages killed by Israelis. This will be in the best interest of everyone in the region and the world. The region and the world need peace, and there should be no place for such warmonger terrorists in the political system anywhere in the world. Israelis have now begun replicating the carnage of Gaza in the occupied West Bank. As I speak, the terrorist regime of Netanyahu has destroyed 70% of the roads in the city of Jenin. I can't show these videos here, but you can watch them on Janta Ka Reporter Telegram channel. The link is in the description. I wrote to the Israeli terrorists, also known as the IDF, for their reaction. No prize for guessing that they didn't reply. Terrorists don't have courage to face upright journalists. I also contacted Netanyahu's office for reaction. Once again, no response. But I will keep on exposing these war criminals and holding politicians in the UK and the US and other Western countries to account. That's it from me. I'm grateful to all of you for your support to my journalism on buymecoffee.com and Patreon. If you think that this journalism is worth supporting, then you too can consider being part of this movement. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do so, because that's one of the many ways you can support independent journalism. God bless you all.